Thank you very much indeed, Mr Deputy Speaker. Apart from the relentless nastiness from the nasty party opposite, we did actually find out some really interesting facts today. Maybe they can explain some of them when he does his roundup. There was literally no water monitoring under Labour. Why? There must have been mass dumping, but we don't know about it. Why? Because they hid the problem, because they didn't monitor. Secondly, this is the one that gets me most of all, Mr Deputy Speaker. The utility firms that these class warriors profess to hate, they had a sweetheart deal with them that allowed them to self-monitor. What a corrupting relationship between New Labour and the big utility firms. Why were they allowed to self-monitor? And grinning at me inanely doesn't answer the question. Thirdly, they were actually taken to court by their lovely buddies in the European Union. You could not make it up. Anyway, and I thank the Secretary of State for her measured, I'm trying to be measured, I'm probably not doing a very good job of it, I must admit. The Secretary of State, I thank her for her calm and measured sentiments as opposed to the nonsense that we've heard from the party opposite. On the Isle of Wight, thanks to this government, Southern Water are now investing tens of millions. And I persuaded Southern Water to make the Isle of Wight an example of best practice. So we have tens of millions of investment. Sandown Waterworks, £2.5 million for Knighton, £5 million in Carisbrooke, £7 million for works in Newport, in Cowes and in Brading. And the full list is extensive. And I'm encouraging all islanders who get the offer of a free water butt, from Southern Water to take up this option. Because as well as improving the pumping stations, as well as replumbing parts of the drainage system, we are providing slow-release water butts and redesigning road surfaces. So the improvements that we're making as a pilot scheme, as an example of national best practice today on the island, is going to get rolled out everywhere else as part of the integrated water plan, as part of the integrated sewage plan, as in part of all the good things that are happening into the Environment Bill. Yes, please. Thank you.
He raises the work that Southern Water is doing on the Isle of Wight, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I'm really grateful because we've got a Fairlight pathway in my patch and they're going to be rolling out smart water butts that slow down the water surface runoff, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works in my patch.
Okay. I thank my honourable friend so much for the intervention. Community schemes are a small part of this because people write to me and say, well, what can a community scheme do? And you're right, there's major investment that has to happen. But the one scheme, the first pilot scheme in Britain, happened in a beautiful little village called Haven Street in my patch. Last year, Haven Street pumping station spilt on average 30 times, or it spills on average 30 times a year. So sewage or storm discharge goes into the river 30 times a year. After 2/3 of eligible residents took up Southern Water's offer of a free water butt and free installation. No money is exchanged. Southern Water will never ask for money for this. The result has been a 70% reduction in water spills. And I'm putting out letters now to every community that is going to get these butts from Southern Water. I write to them first. So I've written to Gurnard, and that letter has almost gone out to all the residents, relevant residents in Gurnard. It's going out in Fishbourne and Wootton next. It's going out in Freshwater afterwards. And I'm encouraging the more people that take up this offer of a free water butt, the more successful the scheme. But just winding up, by improving pumping stations, replumbing parts of the drainage system, providing slow-release butts and redesigning surfaces to make them more porous, we are effectively changing the system for the better. And overall, thanks to the Secretary of State, thanks to the Environment Bill, thanks to the sewage plans that we have, thanks to the National Water Plan, we have a positive plan for Britain. Labour are playing catch-up. They offer nothing but second-rate class war rhetoric and the politics of the abuse and hate. And I strongly support the government's motion. Thank you.